And good evening. We are live. We are live. This is My Property Place live chat. If you just join us, welcome to My Properties live chat, where we have a show that talks about property investment and other sorts of things that is related to property investment. And we run this show every Thursday. And today is Thursday. That's right. The show runs every Thursday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope everyone is staying at home and staying safe. I know the past week has been very hectic for quite a lot of people. People are feeling very worried because COVID numbers are spiking. I personally, I'm also very worried about what's going on. A lot more public places are getting more infections, as you can see. So, but nevertheless, let's keep our spirits high. Let's keep our motivation high, so that nothing is impossible. Okay, if let's say we all stay safe and keep ourselves safe and out of harm's way, like what our government says. If there is not necessary, please don't go out. Okay, please don't go out. Please don't go out unnecessarily. Okay, of course, holidays is a no right now. Couple of red zones right now is also under quarantine already. So MCO. So basically, let's try to prevent our own locations from also getting into that. Other than that, I think there are a couple of other exciting things that's also going on in terms of our politics, our local politics. The U.S. presidential debates is also very interesting. You just watched the vice president's presidential debate yesterday. It was okay. Okay, I think it could be better, but I'm not going to go into that because this is not what this show is about. Okay, if you just joined for the first time, this My Property Place live chat is a show that we talk about property investment, and we've been running the show for the last couple of months. I've shared some pretty interesting topics, invited some pretty very exciting guests. We had Ismail Ho to talk about map making. Ismail Ho is from Ho Chin Soon Maps. We also had the sublet kings that came in to talk about the concept of subletting. We had lawyers that came in. We had interior designers, feng shui. There are many different topics that we have covered. I believe I can still talk about a lot more other things. We haven't covered about. We also have covered about overseas investment. We're talking about Australia. We're talking about UK, Thailand investments. These are some of the topics. And incidentally, 2 weeks back, I brought in some teenagers, aged 14 to 18, to share with us about their opinions about property investment. Yes, I know, I understand that those age are a little bit too young to talk about property investment, but I think property investment education is never too early to start. The fact that I learned about it so late, I think I should have learned about it more. Only thing is that schools doesn't teach that detail about this topic. So it actually boils down to you parents, if you have kids, to educate your children about property investment. And like I said, it's never too early. Okay, I have one son and one daughter. My son is now 15. I started bringing him to look at property sales galleries, the properties in Mont Kiara. He could name some of the properties in Mont Kiara as well, the condos. So it's never too early. All right, and teaching them about the concept of financial literacy, talking about teaching them how to manage their finances. I'm sure some of you have heard about delayed gratification. Have you heard of delayed gratification? So if you're a parent, delayed gratification is something that you should try to educate your children to many more things to learn to teach the kids. Now this, because the last 2 weeks when I brought the teenagers back, we were so excited. We discussed so many different topics. We couldn't So today, I'm very, very happy to have them back, the 5 of them, with me, and we're going to continue our discussion about property investment for them. Okay, for them, what is their experience? What is their perspective of property investment. Okay, so today we're going to cover, like I said, the topic says Young Minds on Property Investment, Part 2, right? Okay, for more of this, welcome to my Property Place live chat. Okay, young gentlemen and ladies, welcome back to my Property Place live chat. Okay, so again, we have Joel, we have Heidi, Qayyim, Alden, and Marcus. Okay, and as usual, they have always requested that I put my screen in the middle. I put the lady over here, and Marcus wants to be next to the logo, he says.
Yes.
Are you happy now, Marcus?
Yes.
Okay, Qayyim, you look like you have your own office there.
Yeah. This is the same exact room as the other time.
Okay, I see you have a keyboard there. You can play piano.
Yes, after Marcus plays us his guitar.
Marcus, you're a guitarist. Okay, so I know Joel's a singer. Okay, Heidi, do you play any music instruments?
I don't play any music instruments, but the closest thing I do is sing.
Sing. Okay, so you have two singers. Alden, other than Spurs, what else? Okay, that's a joke between me and Alden. Alden and his family, their whole family, they are major fan of the. How do you pronounce your team name? Can you pronounce it?
Tottenham Hotspur. Yes.
Tottenham Hotspur. So they have to have that British accent, Tottenham Hotspur.
the London lingo.
Yeah, and Alden is especially happy this couple of days because of certain reason, right? So you guys have a very good, very interesting hobbies and interests, and just for the sake of those who our audience that just joined us, 5 of you were friends and you got to know each other quite a long time already. Maybe you want to Marcus, you want to share with us how the 5 of you got to know each other?
Okay, so the first time all 5 of us met together was, I think, Mud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Joel, Qayyim, and I met in Susico. Qayyim and Joel met before that, I think, like during Infinity classes. We met Heidi in, I think, Aladdin, the first Aladdin. And then Qayyim, Joel, and I all met Alden in Ola Bola the musical. But the first time all the 5 of us were together in a musical was Smart the musical.
Okay.
You wanna explain the timelines?
So I safely say that 5 of you, the similarity between 5 of you is 5 of you are actors. Okay, you're all been acting in musical theaters, and of course we also have a little movie star here, Alden, 18 years old now. If you have seen Ola Bola, okay, Alden was the small boy wearing glasses, Indian small boy, obviously Indian small boy, okay, he cannot be a Chinese boy. Okay, Indian small boy in that is throwing coconuts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you remember the Ola Bola movie, and he has also appeared recently. 5 of them has appeared recently in was it Ola Bola musical? 5 of you? No, Mud the musical. Mud the musical, right? Okay. So let's get on with our discussions. In our last show, we spoke about something very interesting about property investment. It's such a big name. It's such a big topic for 5 of you who are looking so young. Alden, you're entering an age where you should start picking up in knowledge and information about these kind of things, because you're starting to earn your money, salary. Okay, you're working, right, for somewhere, Alden?
Yeah, I work at Gamers Hideout as a part-timer.
Wow, dream job, huh? Gamers Hideout sells games, right? PS4 games? Okay,
all sorts of games for Nintendo, for PC, phones, stuff like that.
All right. So do you own a PS4, Alden?
Yeah, I do. Recently, I bought one. Yeah.
You invested in one?
Yes, it's an investment. Yes, that's the word, investment.
I remember in the last show you mentioned that you invested in that PS4.
It's an asset.
Okay, can you explain to me why do you think it is like that?
It's an asset because the value I bought it at was so low that if I were to sell it, I can sell it at a profit. But my mom still thinks it's a liability.
Your mom probably think you are a liability.
Press too far, Mr. Sim.
So that remains a question for you to think about whether, are you an investment or a liability? Okay, you can go back and ask your mom later. Hope your mom is not listening to this. Okay, so yeah, why I asked Alden about this PS4 is because a lot of young kids, those who don't own a PS4 would probably want to own a PS4, and of course now PS5. Okay, right now PS5 is already the hottest topic. I mean, for those, because it's coming out soon. Now, can I have a show of hand, 5 of you? How many of you think that you want to own a PS5 when it launch immediately? My hand is up.
Want or will?
Want.
What do you mean? Like when it launched immediately? Oh, but yeah.
Would you book it? Would you buy immediately when it launches?
Oh, would you buy it?
No.
I want it. I want it, but I won't buy it.
Yeah, not
Yeah, never mind.
immediately.
If you want it, you lift up your hand. If you want it, you lift up your hand. Coin, you don't want to. Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter. Heidi, you don't want to. Okay, I'm with the kids, right? Okay, one. Okay, thank you very much. Now, the question I want to ask is, okay, if you don't get to buy the PS4 at launch time, and your dad will probably tell you, you want the PS5, Ken, go save your own money and buy it. How would you feel?
I wouldn't blame him, honestly.
Okay, how would you feel? Would you feel disappointed?
Maybe could have told
Not
me
really.
earlier. But no.
Honestly, I
wouldn't
wouldn't
feel
have expected him
disappointed.
to buy it anyway.
Yeah, any one
it's
of you
just a
would,
want. It's not like a need.
any one of you would roll on the ground and start crying and shouting, "No, I don't care. I want."
Joel. I think Joel.
What do you mean? No. Nah, I won't.
Joe,
It's
you
okay.
have that. People have that perception about you. Oh my God.
Is it true?
No.
Is it true? We need to hear from his
No.
brother.
Okay, now that is what I mean. I just want to bring a topic called delayed gratification. Okay, that is what I mean by delayed gratification. Means to say, if you want something, okay, you've got to work for it and you get rewarded for that. Not you want something, genie in the bottle, and then the thing come out and drop on your lap.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's called delayed gratification. And a lot of time, this very basic concept of delayed gratification is the very attitude that you need to have for you to invest in things, to go into investment and to be successful in investment. One of the mentality attitude you gotta have is to have a delayed gratification. Why? Because you got to have a clear mind when you invest. You got to know what you're investing and getting yourself into, because you're talking about money. Right now, you want to buy something, it's not your money, so you couldn't be bothered. That I want that. Can you please get? I don't care how you do it, just get it for me. Okay. But when you have your own money, when you're earning your own money, then you will start to think twice. Do I really need it? Okay. If let's say I have item A and item B, and one is the PS5 and one more is something essential for your family, for example. Okay, and you really need that. So would you buy the essentials for your family first, or would you jump for the PS5?
Essential.
Essential.
So that is delayed gratification. A lot more topics to cover on that, but I won't delve too much into that. So that being that, okay, Heidi, how old you are? You're 15 this year.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you plan to do when you graduate from your education?
Well,
Your
first things
secondary
first.
education.
Secondary education.
Yeah, after you complete your secondary education, what do you plan? Do you plan to continue studies?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, what do you plan to study?
I'm thinking of studying either law or politics.
Law or politics?
In that field, yeah.
What makes you want to go into that field?
Well, I feel like one of the best ways for you to, because one of my life goals ever since I was young, all of my jobs have been like centered around making a change or wanting to help other people. For example, I really wanted to become a doctor, but one of the ways I realized I could do that was become a politician and make policies that would benefit people who were vulnerable and who needed help. So yeah, I want to study that.
Okay. Do you think become a politician can make you become successful?
I think if I do it well, and I think if I keep the people's best interest in mind, then I think yes, I can become successful.
I asked you that, but it basically it's a trick question. Yeah, success can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Correct, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So some people success can mean to say rich and famous. Some people can feel that success is I have successfully helped people achieve my goal of wanting to do something and become successful. Okay, so there are many different perspective to that. Qayyim, what do you plan to do after your secondary education?
I recently finished my secondary education in
Mhm.
June. So right now, that is the stage I'm going through. Um, I
That
plan
means you
to,
sekarang menganggur lah.
yeah, already like it's the application stage
Application for what?
for university
Oh, I see.
or tertiary
Okay.
education.
And what is your major? What do you plan to major in?
Uh, Plan to major in multimedia, specifically
Okay.
audio production.
Okay. So you have your path, future path laid straight in front of you. That's good. Okay. And do you think that industry is going to make you become successful? Obviously, rich and famous could be one of the.
Is this another trick question? Is successful in
Second
terms of
question.
successful in terms of what?
I don't know. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. Successful can mean
Oh, like for me, like what success for me?
yeah.
I think for me, success is just having mm, having a family and having time to spend with them.
Okay, very deep. Okay, so now I'm not gonna ask you further on that, but I just want to repeat one question that I asked you guys in the last show, right? Do you guys think owning a house is important? 5 of you.
Is it
In
important?
which stage of life?
Any stage.
Just any stage?
Any stage, but is it important? Some people might feel that no, I don't think I need to own a house. I could rent a house for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
There
you
are people
could.
who are doing that.
You could, but it will be. I feel like it would be very troublesome because, especially when you're older, like towards retirement. Because you said any point of life, right? Like towards retirement, it would be very troublesome because, for example, you're in your late 50s, you've already retired, let's just say, and someone buys over your house. Then you'd have to take the trouble to move out of your house, try to find a new apartment, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. What
I-
about Joel? What do you think? Do you think you would ever own a house? Would want to buy a house?
I think for me that's a priority. I want to own a house. Even if it's just like a small house, like a small apartment. I think I would like to try to own a house because as Marcus said, that maybe when you grow older, just in case it doesn't work out, you could always fall back into that, and that also could act as an investment as well. So yeah, I guess definitely owning a house is a priority for me.
Okay. Alden, what about you? Do you think you would buy a house?
Yes, I would definitely buy a house because of the many positive
Benefit.
impacts that you would have. Like, I don't think there's anything negative in owning a house, other than just paying for the house lah. But if at the end of the day, if I'll be able to make that money back, then I don't think it'd be a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now, of course, that the thing that you talk about the topic is called paying back, right? Your concern is as long as you can afford the payback, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Over to you, Heidi. Do you think owning a house, would you put that in your priority list to buy a house?
I think yeah, because I'm someone who doesn't like continuous effort. So I think it's just easier to own it and get it done with because it's mine. Then I don't need to focus on paying rent.
Yeah.
Okay. Heidi, sorry, Qayyim, what about you?
You asked if we think buying a house is important, right?
Yes. Is that a priority for you?
Buying for living in the
Buying a
house.
house for yourself, for you to own a house.
Own. Like,
Yeah, for you to own
can
a house.
the situation be you own and you rent it off? Is
It
that
doesn't matter as long as you own a house. Because we are not covering the topic whether if you buy a house, whether you want to stay or you want to invest. I'm not talking about that yet. I want to know if, like now, okay, because just now I asked you a question is that if you come out to work and you start to earn money, and would buying a house be the first priority for you, or would you want to buy that iPhone 17?
okay. Yeah, then I think house would be at the top of the list.
House be at the top. So you want to buy a house. Okay,
Yes.
just to get the facts right, because why? There are some people who feel that no, I don't think I want to buy a house eventually because that would be a burden. Do you all feel owning a house is a burden?
So the opposite.
No, I feel
Depends on your situation. Really.
Okay, yeah, because you see, when you own a house, right? When you buy a house, you got to pay installment every month. You got to pay
Yeah.
unless you kaya lah, very rich, you know. Qayyim is going to be a world best movie director, and he makes millions of dollars. Okay, buying a house is like I just buy cash. Okay, so then also you have to hire a maid to clean the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so owning a house has its pros and cons. Okay, there's some people feel that it's good. You got to have a house. At least you get something that is on your own. You call your own. Some people will just probably rent houses for the rest of their life. But the fact remains that affordability is going to be always an issue here in Malaysia and overseas as well. Okay, as property gets more and more expensive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, remember in the last show I mentioned to you about the later you buy, the smaller it gets. Okay, the later you buy, the smaller the square footage of the house. Okay, some people will keep to have they have no choice because of the affordability. They can only afford to buy a house that is 500 square feet apartment, obviously. Okay, and 500 square feet is a very, very small apartment. 1 bedroom, maximum 2 bedrooms.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, Qayyim, right now the place you stay, probably your room is bigger than 500 square feet.
Wow. Wow.
All right. Okay. So Heidi, you have a question that you wanted to ask me today.
actually, yeah, because this was something that I was curious about. Like, I've heard a lot of stories where people look into property investment, especially like first time investors,
Mhm.
and they end up getting, scammed, or they
Mm.
end up not getting a good deal. What are things you can look out for so that, you make the best decision possible or you don't get scammed?
Mm. That's why educating yourself is very important. You don't go, I mean, you want to buy something, you don't go out to the shop, immediately go and buy the first thing you see. For
Yeah.
example, if you're going to buy a mobile phone, you don't buy the first mobile phone you see in the shop.
Yeah.
You will shop around. You will go to various different channels. In Joel's perspective, he would probably go and see Marcus Brownlee's YouTube channel a few times before confirming what he wants to buy. Right. So this is what you guys do. You survey. So it's the same thing with buying a house. You don't just decide to buy the first house you see, or because the salesman is very sweet talking, or very handsome or whatever, you buy from him. You buy a house, you check whether the location, few things to look at. The location, is that somewhere you want to stay? If it's not something you want to stay, is that a good place for investment? A lot of people are going to rent from that place. And whether the property developer, that means the company that build the house, are they reliable? Okay, are they reliable or not? And then whether the quality of the house is good, the neighborhood is good, whether
Yeah.
there are many factors to look into. So educating yourself, how do you educate yourself? How do you think you can educate yourself, Heidi?
I think I can talk to someone more knowledgeable like you,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or I could also read up on the internet, ask around, ask personal opinions,
All
yeah,
right.
stuff like that.
Okay, best thing for you to do, like I said, yes, you have to have a good advice from somebody trustworthy and good looking like me. I'm just I'm just
Uh,
kidding. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Okay, but however, you need to go out there. You need to have personal experience. Go look at many different developments out there. Speak to many different people, but have a strong mindset. Don't get coerced into buying the first thing you see just because he's sweet talking this you. Okay, there is always a good deal around. Okay, so do I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being scammed, this is something that because a lot of people they don't have the right education. So that's why I always insist that education starts from young. You guys start to have education now. Couple of things you need to educate yourself is financial education is one of the most important things you got to have. How to manage your money, how to make sure that when you purchase a property, you know how much down payment you put in, you know how much is your commitment every month, so that you don't overblow your budget. You can afford to pay. Okay, so if you don't think you can afford to pay every month, then you have to look at considering to look for something that is not so expensive. Okay, so who has a question next? Marcus, you have a question.
Yeah. Sorry. Just out of curiosity, why don't schools teach more about financial? I mean, I'm pretty sure like some schools do now, like social studies, but why didn't they teach like financial like education, like past Form 1 or like before Form 3? So like at a very young age, why didn't they teach financial education? Do you know that, or is it
Good question.
just
Good question.
Good question.
Yes, good question. Because it is true. The schools do teach. To be fair, some of the schools they do try to implement some form of financial education for students like you guys. But the level of education is not very detailed. They don't go into the technicalities because let's put it that way. The schools are not really expert in this field. Okay, like for example, in real estate, it revolves all the time. It changes all the time in terms of the laws and stuff like that, and the investment trends. Okay, like for example, today, what is the trend of the property you see in the market? There's a lot of small size in apartments. Okay, 500 square feet, 600 square feet apartments. But 10 years ago, when you mentioned 600 square feet apartments, nobody believed there is such a thing. Okay, nobody believed that there is such a thing as 600 square feet apartments, but today is a very normal trend.
Yeah.
Okay, so having said that, right, 5-10 years ago, big size condominiums are very, very common. We're talking about 2,000, 3,000 square feet condominiums are very common. Everybody, when they want to buy condominium, they'll buy the kind of sizes. But today, people hardly buy this kind of large size. So the trend is very different. For all you know, Marcus, when you are old enough to buy your own apartment or house, right, the trend will be again very different. For example, a new trend is emerging. It's called. Have you all heard of co-office space?
nope?
You have never heard of
Is
it?
it sharing offices?
Yes. Okay, people are becoming more cost conscious. They're trying to go into communities, so they have this thing called co-office space.
Okay.
And today, there's another new term called co-living.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Go.
Really like their neighbor.
Okay, so 5 of you later, I'm not going to go very, very detailed. So I want you all to go and Google and search for the word co-living and see what you all understand what is co-living about. These are the trends that is coming up. So that's why, because overseas, people are already implementing this. Okay, there are concepts of co-living where they sublet, they buy a property and then they sublet the rooms individually and rent it out. In the older term, it's called subletting lah. So for example, today, if let's say, Alden, you buy your first apartment, the apartment got 3 bedrooms. Okay, 800 square feet apartment got 3 bedrooms. Okay, you stay in the master bedroom and you're paying the installment is 3,000 ringgit every month. That's a lot of money, right? 3,000 ringgit, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is, right, the other 2 rooms, you rent it out at 700 ringgit each. Okay. The other bigger room, one room you rent 700 ringgit. The other room bigger a bit, comes with nicer toilet one, attached toilet one, you rent out 800 ringgit. So total is 1,500 ringgit.
So half.
Yeah, so,
you pay half.
these two fella are already helping you to pay your installment half already.
Yeah.
Am I right or not?
So it's
Yeah.
like a win-win.
So that's called subletting, and then you make, yes, Joel.
Is this a new thing, a new concept, or has this been around for a long time?
No lah, subletting has been around for ages.
No, I
already.
meant co-living.
Co-living is you young people, okay, package it nicely and call it a very cool name called co-living. You know? Okay, those days, your parents' times, there has this thing called subletting. If you remember in the olden days, okay, you guys are not old enough, but in the olden days, a lot of kedai runcit, you know. Other kampung got a lot of kedai runcit, right? Okay, kedai runcit upstairs, right? Especially upstairs, people will not rent it as an office space because walk up, you know, sometimes second floor, third floor, walk up, they all malas to make into an office, cannot rent out as office. What they do is, right, they partition the place into small little rooms, right? And they rent out to all the workers, you know, pekerja. 200 ringgit, 200 ringgit, 200 ringgit. For all you know, there are 10 fellas staying in one shop upstairs. That is the concept of subletting. Okay, sometimes it's legal, sometimes it's illegal. You can't just simply partition your house simply because you like it. Okay, it has to fulfill the safety requirements. Because sometimes too many people stay in the same place, it's fire hazard, safety hazard. Bomba don't approve. Okay, so if
So you have to apply first.
authority, yeah, you have to apply. You have to make sure that it, you know, whether it's approved or not. Okay. Yes, Marcus.
For an apartment like yours, what's like the maximum amount of people that are allowed to stay there?
There is no maximum amount of people. Okay.
But isn't it like illegal in some places?
It's illegal if, let's say, you partition it into many different rooms. Like for example, a bungalow. A bungalow is only there's only like 5 bedrooms. Okay, but you partition it into 22 bedrooms.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Okay, you partition into 22 bedrooms, and then you rent out each bedroom 700 ringgit.
Whoa!
So that's where it's illegal lah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, because when anything hazard happens, fire come up, you want to claim your insurance, but they found out, investigated, wow, you illegally partitioned to so many rooms, that's why it caused the fire and stuff like that, right? And then when there's fire, there's too many people staying there, you want to run also, you cannot escape on time.
Yeah.
I have 22
Okay, and
people.
all you know, a partition up, and then he actually go and close the fire escape as well, or things like that. Okay, so there are things to consider. There are things that you can do legally, there are things you can do illegally. So you got to stay on the correct path all the time. Let's make sure that make sure lah. Okay, Marcus, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Because what was your original question and what I answered, I think I moved to
No, you asked first. I asked why don't schools teach property investment? Then I asked why is it illegal to have so many like like so many people in one.
I mentioned about co-living. You're talking about trends. You asked me about why the schools don't teach. I mentioned to you that because the trend changes so fast that people it's difficult for the schools to follow up and teach you the most technical things. Okay, but I would really strongly suggest, other than schools' responsibility, is also the responsibility of the parents to teach you kids about property investment and such. Because to be able to educate you guys earlier, much the better it is. Some of the things that that you should learn is, of course, the strongest one. I keep repeating myself, will be financial education. How do you make sure that you manage your financials? For example, Alden is in the right age to be able to apply for your first credit card. Am I right?
Oh, am I? Yeah.
Am I not supposed to tell you that? Your dad will school me, is it?
Yeah, because that day I was walking in the mall, then like some of the flirts from HSBC they'll come and say, "Sir, do you want to apply for a credit card?" And then I was like, "Am I the legal age?" And then he was like, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 18." Then he was like, "Oh, ho, ho, ho." Then I had to waste 3 hours with him stalking. But I learned a new thing though. I learned that if I get a credit card and then I pay consistently and then I can get my credit score up, and if my credit score is high enough, then that would be easier to get a loan. Hence, easier to own a house.
Yes.
So it was very tempting. It was a very good salesman.
Having a credit card is your first step to spending money, all right? And also owning a credit line. Because why? There's credit card and there's debit card. Am I right?
Yeah.
Do you all know the difference between credit card and debit card?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I explained before, right? So owning
Yeah,
a debit card is like owning an ATM card. You spend what you have in your bank. All right. Owning a credit card is owning you have been given a credit line from the bank. That means the bank pinjam you. Say for example, your credit limit. The credit limit is depending on what's your income, your current income. Okay, so for example, your credit, I can't remember, is your salary multiplied by a certain, multiplied by 5 or something like that. Okay, assuming like Alden, your salary 2,000, I think you probably can get, I can't remember, is it 5,000 or 10,000 credit limit? 5,000, assuming, okay, let's say 5,000 credit limit lah, 2.5, right? 5,000 ringgit credit limit. That means you say that card that you hold, you can spend up to 5,000 ringgit.
Okay.
Okay. That is a good and bad thing. We call them a double-edged sword. Okay, double-edged sword, because on one hand you are wielding a power of 5,000 ringgit which you have never had in your pocket before. It's like suddenly I masukkan 5,000 ringgit cash into your pocket. You'll be like, okay, what am I going to do with 5,000 ringgit today? Right?
Yeah.
So
He's already thinking.
you can go crazy. You can go crazy. 5,000 ringgit. Okay, first thing first, I need to buy a few nice PS5, PS4 games. Okay.
Uncle, you're giving him ideas, Uncle.
Uncle, he's gonna do it. Look at him.
If you buy PS4 games, right, one game will easily cost you about 150 to 200 ringgit, original games, right?
So how many games? Like, whoa.
Yeah. So when
He's calculating.
you buy your first game and you swipe your 5,000 ringgit card, you're going to go 150 ringgit, I can afford because I got 5,000 ringgit.
So I buy a gaming laptop with the highest spec.
He calculated everything.
With 500 ringgit?
With 5,000 ringgit, you cannot buy a gaming laptop, seriously. You can buy the laptop and then after that, the rest of the day, you eat Maggi mee.
That's the consequences, Uncle.
But however, yeah, which is a very common issue that most of young people would have. Get their first card, experience their first bad debt, but you don't pay your credit card. Okay. So the good thing about the positive factor of owning a credit card is you hold that card for emergency purposes. Imagine if, let's say, you touch wood, somebody in your family has got medical condition and suddenly kena masuk hospital. Okay, and so happen you don't have an insurance. Okay, you don't have insurance, and then the hospital say that, okay, no, this situation you need to have, before your people can admit, you need to put in a 2,000 ringgit deposit. Where are you going and find 2,000 ringgit cash? But with the credit card, you swipe lah. Okay, so it's for emergency use. Yes, Marcus?
Okay. Is there like a time limit in which you have to spend your credits, or like for example, if you get a credit card, for example, your credit limit is 3,000. If you don't spend it for like, let's say 10 years, okay, it's just in your pocket for like 10 years, and because 1,500 is your salary because 2.5. So let's just say your salary gets up to 10,000 for math purposes. So it becomes 25,000, your credit limit. So does your credit limit like increase, or do you have to like spend some credits in order for the credit limit to increase?
You don't have to spend. The bank will continue to push you to increase your credit limit. Banks are always more than willing to push you, borrow you more money, because the more money they borrow you, the more you spend, the more you will pay back, the more they make money.
Okay. So it's not. So you don't have to use your credit card. If you have a credit card, it's just like your last resort, basically.
Yeah, it's supposed to be meant for emergency, and sometimes it's meant as a leveraging as well. Because why? Sometimes you get points. You know, credit card, when you spend, they give you extra points. Okay, and these points you can use it to exchange for goodies. Sometimes certain credit card has flyer miles. Flyer miles, you say they actually can give you free air tickets if you spend.
Whoa.
Okay, so every time, but so you see, if you want to manage your credit card well, like for example, you are going to spend this much money every month for your expenses, your petrol, your car, petrol bill this much, your handphone bill this much. Okay, all in all, you have to spend say 500 ringgit. So instead of paying 500 ringgit cash to all these service providers, right? You pay with a credit card, and then you pay the cash to the credit card.
Yeah.
You roll. That's how you roll.
On
Okay.
time.
So and at end of the month, right? When you pay up, you already spent 500 ringgit to pay for your bills. Okay. End of the month, you have already budgeted 500 ringgit to pay for your bills, right? Instead of paying to the bills directly, you pay to the credit card. So what's going to happen is that the bank will say that, wow, you spend 500 ringgit and then you pay back 500 ringgit end of the month. Very, very good. Okay, you are very, very good. You have very good clean record.
I have a
that's
question.
how. Yes, Joe.
Okay, so how can we save money? I think right now we are not in a position. Not any of us are in a position to,
Except
not even
Alden.
close to buy a house or investing in it. So how can we save money for investment?
Oh,
Yes, Alden. Maybe you can
yes.
answer.
My question is kind of related to Joel's one. Because I asked my dad about it, and then he said that there's a savings called like the EPF or something. And then
Yes.
he said you can use that to pay like a certain percentage for a house, like the down payment or something for the house. But that's money that is already there, right? That means, let's say if it's my EPF, is that money that's already there, or is that also like the bank giving money first?
Okay. What you need to do is that money is for you to pay for the down payment of the property. Okay. For example, today if you buy a house, you want to buy a house that is 500,000 ringgit. Okay, and you take a loan and you manage to only get 80%. So 80%, 10% is 50,000, right?
Yeah,
Okay, 20% is 100,000.
100,000.
Okay, so if you take a loan of 80%, that means you say you have to put 100,000 down payment, right?
Okay, yes.
So if you don't have the 100,000, what you do?
Credit card.
Bro, that was so fast.
No.
Alden.
Chill,
What you
bro.
do?
Yeah,
It's the same, I don't think.
Can lah, but what's your credit limit?
Yeah, bro. 100,000 was a credit
oh
card.
yeah.
If you buy a new,
Oh God,
if you buy a new house from a property developer that built from scratch one, right? Okay, that means it's a new project. You may be able to use credit card lah if your credit limit got so much lah. But if you're buying a second-hand house, for example, you're buying a house from me. Sorry lah, how can you swipe credit card to me? I where got credit card machine?
Mr. Tim. Mr. Tim.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So you can't always use credit card. That's where you can actually withdraw EPF money to pay for the down payment.
What is EPF?
I see.
EPF, sorry,
So it's already my money.
KWSP. Yes. Okay.
Wait, what is
EPF stands for Employee Provident Fund. Okay. When you start working, you work for a company, you are supposed to contribute to EPF. EPF is actually your old age saving. Okay. So a certain percentage of it can be used for medical reasons, can be used to renovate houses and stuff like that. So in EPF, there's the main account that you cannot touch, account 1, and then account 2. Okay, account 1 is your main savings. So you can only withdraw it at the age of 55 or is it 60? Okay, then you have the account 2 where you can withdraw for whatever reasons. So you have,
So the most commonly used one is account 2 lah.
yes, most of the time it's account 2, that's right.
Okay. So so basically account 1 is EPF account, or like your retirement account lah.
Yes, correct. But the whole scheme is called EPF, or in Malay we call KWSP.
Okay.
Malay KWSP stands for Kumpulan Wang Simpanan Pekerja. In English, EPF, Employee Provident Fund. Okay, in Singapore it's called CPF. It's pretty global thing.
Is it everywhere in the world? Did they have it?
Most places in the United Nations, they would probably have something like that.
Okay.
Why don't countries have why don't countries like implement CPF?
Depends. Some of them they have, some of them they have different schemes. They have different concepts of and every government is different, different concept.
Do you know like another concept?
I know a concept where the country is communism, where they own everything.
Oh, okay, yeah. Forgot that was a thing.
Okay, but we shall not go into detail for that. Okay.
Yeah.
What other questions do you have?
Joel.
Yes.
Are there any disadvantages in investment?
Disadvantages in investment.
Property
There's
investment.
okay. Investment and property investment is two different things. Okay, when you talk about investment as a whole,
Property investment. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, if you're talking about investment as a whole, investment has many different types of investment.
Yeah, I
Okay.
meant property investment.
Alden has told you he has invested in a PS4. So that's one form of investment for him. Okay, and there's no wrong in that. There's no wrong in that. It is true that he invested 200 ringgit and is his cost. And if he will sell it to 500 ringgit, he made 300 ringgit. That's profit.
Wow.
That's one form of investment. That's right.
Yeah. Your team are too bright.
Well, just give you a sarcastic laugh.
So, are there any disadvantages in property investment?
Okay, property investment on its own, it's to me, I can be a bit biased because I'm a property guy, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
what is the disadvantage? I won't be able to tell you, but let me tell you what is the advantages. Okay, number one, can you see a property? You can see a property, am I right? It's physical, it's there, it's solid. Okay, when you spend money to buy a property, you can see every day, you can see and appreciate that, okay, this is the house that I bought, brick and mortar. In English, we call them brick and mortar. Okay, so it's always there. Okay, and does everybody needs property? Everybody needs the house to stay. Okay, so there's always demand for it. If it's something that you invest in and there's always demand for it, the price will continue to go up. You have valuation, you have good value. So you invest in something that you have good value, obviously it's a good investment.
Yeah.
Okay, and if there's value, the value will continue to rise. Okay, of course there are certain situations where when you invest in a property, the property price drop. Very rare. Okay, very rare. If you buy in a wrong location, or if you buy in a certain area which they were meant to develop and it didn't happen. Many years ago, right? There was this one location up north where they were intending that place to be the next airport. Okay, you know Subang is our old airport, right? Subang Jaya, right? There's an old airport, right? And then there is KLIA, am I right? KL International Airport. Before KLIA, KLIA was located where? Where is located now?
KL.
Yeah.
It's in Sepang lah, Sepang.
Yeah, Sabang.
Qayyim should know what? Hello, near your place. Okay, the airport is located in Sepang. But before it was located in Sepang, it was meant to be located in another location in the north. Okay, so when the government were having this idea whether to put north or south, right? People started investing. Developers start building houses there, you know, and then people start buying the bungalow lands over there. They buy shops there because they are predicting that if the KLIA were to be there, the surrounding area price will go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And what happened was suddenly they decided that the airport is not going to be there. So instead of north, they relocated the airport to the south. So what happened to those houses and land and shops that people buy in that place?
Owners will cry.
Owners will cry.
So this is where then the property value will drop.
Yeah.
Okay? The property value will drop. That's what happened.
To crash.
Okay? Yeah. So there are small, but there are very seldom situations like that because you don't make major investment. Okay, like for example, I wouldn't expect you to go and buy a house in, say, no pun intended, but like say Tanjung Malim, you know, and a condominium there, and hoping that the price will increase up there. I bet you 5 of you don't even know where is Tanjung Malim for all you know.
Is it Perak?
Exactly. You don't know where. So that's the idea. Where would you buy? You want to buy in a place where, if you, of course, you got money, you want to buy KLCC, because you know why KLCC is always the city center. The value is always there. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, you buy in town center, city center, suburb areas. Yes, Joel.
Okay, like in the current situation now, obviously there's COVID-19.
Mhm.
So I know you have investments. You have invested in property, and you have some investments currently.
Yes.
Has your investment been affected by the current climate?
If yes, yes, and yes, that's right. Because
Yes, and
if
yes.
the property that I buy are mostly rented out. Okay, I was hesitating because depends on who I rented it to. The one that I bought in Cyberjaya, I was renting it to a foreigner. Okay, a foreign student. And when MCO hit, he had to go back to his country. So
Oh,
what's
that's
going to
sad.
happen is that he has to move out. But of course, he has been very good tenant with me for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so it really depends on your investment, right? Who do you intend to rent it to? And that might impact. But then again, nobody expected MCO, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So nobody knew that MCO is going to hit. Therefore, normally student investment, student rentals are pretty good. Okay, we have one question here from the audience. What location would you buy your first home investment? Let me start with Qayyim. Qayyim is going to say Putrajaya.
Yo. What? Okay. I haven't. Wait. I don't have the answer. Can you tell me
Sorry.
something?
Okay. So anybody want to just throw your answer? Where would you buy?
Overseas.
Yes, Marcus. Puchong.
Yeah, overseas. Overseas, because first home, first home would be overseas. No, because first, when you say first home, it probably like it means like your first property, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably go to college and then like rent an apartment nearby. So it
Okay.
probably wouldn't be in Puchong. It'll be like overseas.
I was just joking about the Puchong thing lah. Okay. Yes, Heidi.
Wait, but uncle, this is buying, not renting, right?
Buying.
So Marcus,
Buying, owning your first property.
Okay.
Owning your first property.
Still
So,
overseas. Yes, still overseas.
so the idea is, Marcus, you go and study overseas. I'm assuming when Marcus said that, it's like, okay, I'm going to go study in UK, performing arts studio and things like that. And once I graduate, I'm going to work there. And after that, I'll meet a girl there. And then I'm going to buy a house there. And then I'm never, ever going to see Puchong in my whole life again, ever. I'm just joking.
Bye.
I'm just joking. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, Alden.
I'd buy in Johor.
Ui.
Oh, go on.
Hey,
Let's hear why.
Why?
Okay, never mind. We want to know why Johor. We are curious to know why Johor.
Because Johor is promising. It's a promising place, first of all. And second of all, it's the home to the best stadium in Southeast Asia. So,
Okay.
as a patriotic football fan, I would go there just to be able to walk to the stadium or take a train or
You mean
take
the
the bus.
home of Harimau?
Yeah, the JDT.
Okay.
Yep.
Your
But
first home.
also, Johor, isn't Johor a strategic place because it's closer to Singapore?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Alden is not
Actually,
wrong.
is pure reasoning.
Okay, I mean, besides the point, I want to make a joke about him buying a house next to the stadium. Okay, but Johor is a good investment location, but have to be very careful lah. Don't try to stay away from those mass investment areas, like, because there's a lot of development over there. It's like they're building thousands and thousands of units of apartments. Those are a bit risky lah.
Oh, okay.
wait, why are those risky?
The supply and demand. When you are going to invest in a property, you buy a condo. Say for example, both is in Johor city center. For example, Alden, for your sake, both condos are in Johor city center. One condo is very both same price. One condo has only got 300 units in one block. Okay, one development. The other development has got 10,000 units. The whole development. Okay, which one will be renting out faster when the property completes? Okay, 10,000 unit, everybody also want to rent out at the same time. When is it going to be your turn to rent out? Okay, so when you have lower supply, you have better demand.
So competition.
Yeah, lesser competition. Okay, this one is Marcus punya. So far, overseas, totally different kind of investment. Best to experience local first.
Yeah, question.
Yes.
What are the benefits and disadvantages? Or rather the difference for overseas investment and local investment?
Local and overseas investment.
Yeah.
Very different, very different. Local investment is something that you can see and touch. That means you say you buy a house in Johor, you can just take a bus down to Johor, you can see, there, my house is there. Okay. Overseas, unless you are physically staying there. If let's say, for example, Australia, you want to buy a house in Australia, my favorite place. Okay. There's the good part and bad part lah. Okay. My favorite place in Australia is Gold Coast, Australia. You all know Gold Coast?
Yes.
Yes. Can you imagine owning a landed house just like 10 minutes away from Gold Coast? And then you just drive out 10 minutes to the beach there. Do you know that Gold Coast has a beach that is 55 kilometers long, and the whole beach is unbroken, it's 55 kilometers long.
Ooh, that is the dream.
Kangaroos and penguins on the beach in Australia.
Sorry?
Would that be kangaroos and penguins on the beach?
No.
Australia.
There is penguins in Australia. It will be in Phillip Island, Penguin Island. It's different places near Melbourne. Okay. Yes, Joel.
Okay. So I know you are a specialist in Australian property.
Yeah.
So how is the property investment in Australia? Would you say it is better than Malaysia's?
Very, very different. Again, like I say, because property in Australia is very, very much relying on rental, because there are more people renting in Australia than I cannot say that lah. But the Australian people have this strong mentality of renting property. Okay, they rent property for a long time before they start to intend to buy a property. And when they buy a property, they buy a property for the intention of wanting to build a family and want to stay on their own. Okay, they in terms of percentage, the people here are more investment mindset. So locally here, the capital appreciation tends to be faster. We know what's the meaning of capital appreciation?
Yeah.
Capital appreciation.
Remind me.
You buy a property and then you keep the property, and the price of the property continue to go up.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I remember now.
You buy a house at 500,000. 5 years later, the house gone up to 700,000. So your capital appreciation is 200,000.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that, right? So capital appreciation. So some people buy houses because they want to wait for the house to increase price, and then you sell the house after that. Okay, you do that for both local and overseas property. Also you can do that. In terms of rental wise, right? In Malaysia, if let's say you buy a condo, you rent it out, a lot of time the rental is high. That means to say you buy a house at 500,000, your installment is say 2,500 ringgit. Okay, you probably can rent out at 2,500 ringgit and cover your installment, or even 2,800 ringgit and earn a bit of money. Okay, but if you buy a house, you won't get 500,000 ringgit house lah, landed house. Like for example, Marcus, where you stay, those houses are million.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
At least 1 million
Nice,
something. Okay, so the house, if you buy a house at 1 million ringgit, right, and then your installment you need to pay is 5,000, 6,000 ringgit every month. But it's not possible for you to rent out at 5,000, 6,000 ringgit every month. It's not easy. Okay, you can get 3,000, 4,000 ringgit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons. Okay, so that is a bit of a difference between overseas and local property. Local property, like I say, the capital appreciation is faster. Overseas property capital appreciation is a bit slower. Okay. Alden, this message for you. Okay, so we have another comment here. Overseas investment best to learn the buying process. Yes, it's true. When you buy overseas property, because why? Foreign law, foreign tax, foreign everything is overseas like that. Imagine if you were to buy a property in Japan. Have you ever thought of buying a property in Tokyo, Japan? Okay,
Yes.
the value is like 10 times more.
Yeah.
Okay, and all the context agreements, everything, the documentations, everything in Japanese. So you just sign, blindly sign, don't know what you're signing. Okay, that could be an issue. Okay, so however, having said that, there are a lot of good investments overseas as well. But like what Tammy says, right? It's always good for you to experience local property. Once you get the understanding, okay, then you look at overseas property. You got to graduate and then you start to look at overseas property because it's a different ball game altogether. You understand? So now we have one question from a small boy here. Maybe you guys can help me to answer this question. This young man called Eric Choi is asking me this question. Uncle Tim, any good property I should buy?
Uncle Tim.
Come to Puchong.
Okay. Puchong good property.
Yes, come to Puchong. Alden and I stay near Puchong, but inside Puchong. Inside Puchong. That sounds wrong. How do you say that?
Guys,
Puchong.
Guys, have you all been to this new shopping mall called Tropicana Gardens?
Is it the one near Nexus?
Yes, just opposite of Nexus. How many of you have been?
I
You have been. Is it huge?
I wouldn't say it's
Yeah, of course it's not as
huge.
big as Mid Valley lah. But it is considered one of the bigger malls here in PGSI here. Alden, you haven't been. How can? Tropicana Garden is one of the coolest malls that every student have been, and you have not been.
Yeah, man.
It's actually a very
Tropicana
convenient
Gardens
location.
where-
It's a very
Gamers
convenient
Hideout might
location.
open an outlet there. Then I
You
might
should
work
ask Gamers Hideout to open there. You're
Yeah,
gonna get you get a lot of business from here.
There are a lot of students there. A lot.
Noted.
Very,
Right,
very interesting.
Investment.
You can be the branch manager. Now,
Yo, yeah.
you see,
Franchisee.
just now, right? What I want to give you an idea, right? What is a good place to invest to buy your first home? Now, young people like you, right, should consider something like that. You know Tropicana Garden Mall I mentioned to you just now, right? It's in Tropicana. First of all, the address is very cool. It's Tropicana. Okay? And then imagine your condo is just right above the shopping mall.
You build a condo above the mall?
Yeah. There are currently this Tropicana Garden Mall, there are 4 towers, 4 condo towers right above the mall.
Above the
So
mall.
basically, yes, just right exactly above the mall. As you come down from the mall, your entrance, you can go straight into the mall. And at the mall itself, next to the mall, there's an MRT station.
Wow.
Okay, this is the MRT 2 line.
Which
Okay.
MRT station?
MRT 2 that goes to
Nexus station.
Yeah, Nexus station lah. That goes straight to Pavilion, KLCC. It stops at One Utama, stops at Pavilion Damansara, stops at Pavilion KLCC.
We know where we're going.
So I always tell people, like young people like you guys, right? When you want to invest or buy a good property, you should buy a property that is convenient. Like, because a property like this one, right? Let me tell you that there is very, very good chance that people are going to buy from you. Because why? It's convenient, right? Okay.
Yeah.
If you're talking about wanting to take a ride to KLCC Pavilion, right? Okay, you stay at this condo and you take a ride, it's about 10 stations away. Let me ask you, when you stay in a condominium that is 10 stations away to the KLCC Pavilion versus one next to KLCC Pavilion, is the same thing. Because why? You go up the train, you sit down there, ting, you reach already, then you come down. You don't have to walk that far, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
1 station and 10 station got different or not?
Not really, no.
Not really, no.
Yeah, you probably have to sit a bit longer lah, that's all lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sitting won't get tired, right?
No.
Okay, so imagine if this property which is available in places like in Pavilion also there's a condo upstairs, you know. Pavilion KLCC also got condo upstairs, you know. It's called the Pavilion Residence. Okay, and then if you go to overseas, right, a lot of malls upstairs they have residents. Most of these malls, right, they sell most of these condos they sell very expensive, very expensive because it's like super convenient. So if you
Roughly
guys
the price?
Sorry,
Do you know the price?
of course different country different lah. Like for example, this condo I'm telling you about in this Tropicana garden, right? They are currently selling the sofa there price starting from about I think 400,000-500,000 ringgit. That's not expensive. 400,000-500,000 ringgit is not expensive.
No, that's okay, but starting at 400.
Yeah, starting from 400,000
plus
ringgit.
there's a lot of demand, right?
Yeah, and your monthly installment you gotta pay is about 2,000 plus.
Right, okay.
It's not that bad.
It's quite good for the location also, right?
Yes, and if you this property that you buy, you invest in, next time 5 years later when you know Alden become big boss and all that already, and he'd want to stay already, he want to sell it away easily. You can sell it away
Yeah.
because the location is in demand. Okay, so if there's any idea for you to start a property investment, you should look at properties like this. This should be something that is very sure, very confirmed. There's a couple of other locations in Klang Valley that has got this kind of specs lah. Imagine if you buy a condo just above Mid Valley. You think can make money or not?
Obviously,
Yeah.
can.
You buy a condo just above KLCC or next to KLCC. See, now the condos in KL, right? The TRX, and all these condos, they are all selling very crazy because why people want to buy next to it, and if you were to do Airbnb, you'll guarantee no problem because people show on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to give you an idea what kind of investment you should look at, you can buy somewhere out isolated, but you worry that don't know whether got value or not, don't know whether people want to stay or not. But if you buy in a place like this, definitely got people want to stay because when you are next, transportation hub is always a very good location for you to invest because why? Transportation hub, you are going to attract people who are working, want to take transport to work. There's demand.
Daily commute, right?
Sorry?
Daily commute.
Yes. Okay, there are some developments that are built next or inside the transportation center. They have a specific name. They have a very specific name. Let me just type it out. Transport oriented development. Okay, I want to teach you guys the new word. It's called transport oriented development. Okay, transport-oriented development is developments that's built within a transportation hub. Okay, Cyberjaya was supposed to build one. It's called the Cyberjaya City Center, but they haven't built it yet. But there are various transport orientation hub like this. So this one in Tropicana Garden Mall, the condominium is called Edelweiss. The name of the condo is very cool. Where have you heard the word Edelweiss before?
Sound of music.
The sound of music. Please don't start singing, okay? Please don't start singing hills over hills and mountains, all huh? All right. So, wow, check out the time.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Talk, and then after that, okay. I think we have covered quite a little bit of some of the topics today. I'm going to go one more round and ask you guys what other questions you have for me.
Nothing much. I have nothing.
I have also nothing anymore.
Nothing.
I am all good with knowledge now.
Okay. Yes, Mark. Qayyim.
Part 3.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Sorry.
Will we do a part 3?
You want a part 3? You seem to be enjoying it very much, right?
I mean, the audience loves it.
Yeah.
The audience lovers.
Let's see about this one. I'll come back to you on that. Okay. On the parting note, I want to ask Marcus to sing us a song.
No, I'm shy.
Yes.
Sing a
Yes.
Sing a
Yeah,
song.
come on.
Okay, come on, take out your guitar and play a song for us to
No,
hear.
I'm shy.
Marcus is the ping pong ambassador. You shouldn't be shy.
Yeah, Marcus,
Ping
you're,
pong
No,
ambassador.
you
okay.
are the ambassador
Let's
of a lot
come.
of 5-year-old kids.
Okay, no. Okay, let's come to a negotiation. Okay, let's try this. I'm
Okay,
gonna play the
let's go.
guitar. Okay, let's play. I'm gonna play a song that like everyone knows. All right, we're all gonna try to sing at the same time.
That's
Okay,
not
okay.
gonna work.
Disaster.
Yeah, it's not gonna work, but we're gonna try.
And Qayyim can play piano.
Let's go.
Nice. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Hey, come, let's do what song?
What song do you guys want?
Marcus.
I'm fine with anything. Okay,
Marcus.
let the audience decide lah.
Audience.
Oh,
Okay, guys, what song do you all want to hear? Eric, if you're still there, is there any song you want to choose? Or Tammy?
Joel,
And
Heidi,
Shah,
Alden,
thank you
singers.
very much for joining our show tonight. Is there any song that you want to choose? No, come on. I don't think they will choose. And Marcus, you just choose a song. Just now you were playing a song just now. That was quite interesting.
Okay, let's go.
Huh? What song was I playing? Huh?
Anything, just throw it out.
What song do you guys want? I'm shy.
Song you were playing earlier.
What song was I playing?
Okay, Qayyim, why don't or you want to start? You want to play a song that let him follow?
I join in lah.
I
Play
don't
whatever
know,
you have.
I don't know any guitar suitable song.
Just play
It's
anything.
okay.
that you like.
I'll just jump in.
Okay, but the song is so piano-y.
It's okay. What's it called? Make sure the others can join in as well. Not like a piano solo.
It's the what was it called? I think it was River Flows in You.
Sorry? River Flows in
River
You?
flows in you.
How are you
Okay,
gonna
Got
get?
it.
I'm waiting for you to play the song. Come on, let me hear.
How are you?
Okay, wait, Qayyim.
Yeah.
It's okay. Qayyim, just play the hardest song you know. Go. Impress us.
Okay, never mind. Yep, that works too. Okay, go and go. Play the hardest song you know.
jazz session.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Qayyim.
this is Qayyim. Out to you, audience who are listening with us. Who just left?
Joel.
Wait.
Oh,
All
what's that word?
right. Excellent. All right, that was Qayyim, and he's actually really good. I've heard him play many times, and probably next round we can have Marcus to play guitar for us as well. And okay, I guess that's time for us today already. We've covered quite a little bit. I hope you kids learn more about property investment, and I hope you continue learning and don't stop learning. Maybe one of these days, if it's suitable when COVID is not that bad, I will bring the 5 of you for a few property tours to show you around all the different
Let's
locations. Okay,
Let's
bring you on the house,
go.
okay? Okay, so I can explain to you then what to look at on the property there. So that is something that we will look at. And I ask you a question: if let's say there is going to be a class on teaching you about investment and property and all that, would you guys be interested?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, no, only if it's taught by you.
Ooh.
Marcus, is a good one, man.
Sorry?
All right.
You're gonna have to pay extra.
No, we haven't even gone to that yet. Okay, probably we can start with the tour first. Okay, when we do a tour, we're going to do a live tour so that everyone can join us and can see it. Okay, audience who are still with us, thank you very much for being with us on My Property Village live chat, and we hope you enjoy the time with us. And 5 kids or so, you guys had a lot of fun, and we hope to see you again in the next show. Okay, this is Timothy, Marcus, Joel, Alden, Qayyim, and Heidi saying good night and goodbye. Stay safe and stay home, guys.
You see?